See, Malika Andrews is dangerous, and she's been dangerous. She's someone that you don't want to be around. And it's just crazy when I see all these different segments on ESPN with Richard Jefferson or Tristan Thompson and Jalen Rose. It's like these people, they got to be on their P's and Q's when it comes to being around these women because these women know that they're protected. They know that the climate of this society is all based in putting a battery in their back, and they just, feeding off every element of this Luciferian society. So obviously, women naturally they're delusional. I don't care what nobody say. Naturally, a woman is delusional. This is why you see them. They say certain shit that don't even add up with what took place. Like for example, right here, Jalen Rose hugs Malika Andrews, and she says, "Get your finger out of my armpit." Like literally, his finger was nowhere near her armpit. But women, they have a tendency to do this where they just make up shit. And sometimes it's agenda driven. Other times they just have that natural element in them where they're delusional. Like they lie to the point where it's like pathological and to the point where it's like it didn't even add up to anything that took place. And I'm sure you brothers experienced this with women where it's like you get into some shit with them and they'll just make up some shit that had nothing to do with nothing. It wasn't even anything close to that. I remember one time where we was holding camp and a sister came to the camp. No, I said a sister. She wasn't even a sister. She was a white woman. She came to the camp and she came to us. She was harassing us. But the funny thing about it was she turned it around on us to make it seem as if we was harassing her. She was victimizing herself, started crying because we wasn't capitulating to her nonsense. See, when a woman sees that you're not capitulating to her nonsense, she don't know what the fuck to do because they love so much to feel like they dominate over a man. Like this woman, Malika Andrews, is dangerous because she hates black men. And these idiots on this show don't understand that. And I'm sure Richard Jefferson probably hitting that. They got to be hitting one of them chicks on that show. And Chini or Agumake, yo, I ain't gonna, she got a jelly on her. She got a fat ass on her. So, like, it's just, all it does is create confusion. Like, you're not supposed to have women and men in the workplace. It creates confusion. This is why you have all this nonsense going on. You wouldn't have a story about Malika Andrews just making up some shit about Jalen Rose putting his hand on her armpit if things were, naturally how it's supposed to be, according to life and whatnot. It's not supposed to be like this. Like everything that's going on in this society is not supposed to be like this. It's not. Like everything that we're accustomed to seeing when it comes to the natural element, they changing it up. Women over men, women in all these different, seats, these different positions where they're not necessarily supposed to be. Where it's like you watch a basketball game and you hear a woman commentating, it just doesn't sound right. Everything about this world, when it comes to the vibration of it, is contrary to the Most High, which is contrary to nature, which is contrary to regularity and order. This is why I speak on these things, and I know I'm going on a tangent, but it's important. When you see stuff like this, we got to keep our antennas up. A delusional woman like this saying, "Get your finger out of my armpit," when this man it was nowhere near the broad armpit. And I know that there's another segment where Richard Jefferson taps her on her shoulder. And she says, "Oh, get your finger out of my armpit, bro." Like this chick is really weird. Like you could tell that she's reaching and she's fetching for something to pretty much get a motherfucker fucked up. Not necessarily fucked up like physically. I'm just saying like get him all messed up to the point where, he's he's canceled or he's compromised. And that's why I say this woman, Malika Andrews, man, she's dangerous, man. Very, very dangerous.
Get your finger out of my armpit. We're just happy to see Jalen Rose welcoming in the man.
And I like how Jalen Rose, as soon as she said that, he understood, all right, this bitch is on some bugged out shit. And she knew that she was wrong. That's why she kind of went away. Because it's like she can't help herself. You feel what I'm saying? Like she can't help herself. You over here talking about get your fucking finger out of my armpit and then you want to get on his good side after you try to victimize yourself and make him seem like he's some predator? Like, get out of here. You a nice looking woman, but you ain't even all that. Like, chill. Like this chick, like these, like these women, bro, in this world, they got a battery so far in their back. This is how you know that they're Eve, man. Because everything about, what they feed off of is based off of programming. It's like they don't utilize they don't have their own mind to the point where they form their own opinions on things. It's like they have to let the power structure, the powers that be, dictate their mind for them because they're proverbial Eve. That just is what it is. So it's like everything about what they push, especially in a seat like this, like a Malika Andrews, Of course, she's gonna align herself with whatever agendas that's afoot. So it's her job to play that role. She's like, a female version of the boule. She's probably pretty much whatever name it is for it, because I'm sure it is. Like you got different orders for it, different fraternities and whatnot, like the Rosicrucian order or the boule. She's probably in one of them orders where she acts as an intermediary between the power structure and so-called black people. But she is the villain role, you know, in a way where you understand that she's the antagonist to, the so-called black man, because everything about what she pushes is pretty much to get the black man fucked up, for lack of a better expression. And this dude, Jalen, he pretty much goes on live to not necessarily defend himself, but he kind of like defend her. Oh, Malika's from the Bay. That's my sister. This and that. Like, what are you talking about? The broad pretty much tried to screw you, my guy. And not screw you by fuck you. She tried to like get you clipped. And you talking about, oh, she my sister, this and that. I mean, he did, defend himself when it comes to him saying no. He did not put his hand on her shoulder. I mean, hand on her armpit, but still, it's like, bro, nah, man, you really gotta like put her in a place, man. Like what Stephen A kind of did, even though he didn't go too 100 with it, but he kind of put her in her place when she gonna tell him, don't blame the woman. Like this chick is just bugged the fuck out. Bugged the fuck out. No integrity at all. We're not gonna blame the woman. We're just gonna blame the man. Even though she has the same culpability. She did her dirt too. When it comes to that Ime Udoka situation. This is how you know that these people are dangerous, man. These people are dangerous. And this is an example of it. This is why it's important for us when we understand the dynamic that's at hand. We have to, we have to move accordingly, because it's all meant to pretty much clip us, get us in a fucked up position, a compromised position. Like this, like ESPN in general is just, you don't even want to look at it no more. Like I don't even look forward to watching ESPN. There was a time where I looked forward to watching ESPN. Everything about ESPN is all based in social engineering and an influx of women everywhere. It's like, and of course, you love women, but we don't like to see them in these type of positions because we're not accustomed to that. And it's weird. It's like cringy. Like even certain women, like you hear like the Philadelphia 76ers broadcast, that woman that be commentating on the 76ers, it's just like, no. Every time I watch a Sixers game, especially before the season, because now it's pretty much on TNT and whatnot, all the major stations. But before that, you'll watch a Philadelphia 76ers game at home and you hear that woman, it's just like, no, no. The only woman I like hearing is Doris Burke, because I'm used to her. She's been around for a while. Or Lisa Salters, but you have an influx of all these women that's not supposed to be in these positions. I'm sorry, they're not. I like this woman, McNutt. She's cool. Monica McNutt. Like I ain't like her at first, but she's starting to like warm up. She's knowledgeable. She actually played. Even Chini Agumake, she played, but she's just too dingy. Like she's too like extra. You know what I mean? Like it just looks mad weird when you see her doing her job on ESPN broadcasting and whatnot. It's just like, no, that's just go back to the WNBA and stick to that. But the reason why they pushing this and they have all these women in these positions is because this all inclusive agenda that they pushing, as well as the feminist agenda, women over the man. We already know the prophecy when it comes to the woman being over the man in these last days. So this is why you see all this shit. And the reason why I emphasize it is because obviously I'm someone who is aligned with the understanding of the scriptures and the understanding of the standard of the Heavenly Father. And when it comes to the prophetic aspect of the scriptures, this is what we see. This is what we spot. This is how you know that the Bible, is true. It lends credence to it because of everything that we're seeing in these last days.
Who do y'all think is the biggest coconut on ESPN? Who's the biggest coconut? Graham Cracker. It's between Stephen A. Smith and this girl named Malika Andrew. I don't know who Malika is, but I definitely believe Stephen A. Smith. If somebody go harder than Stephen A. Smith, boy, they got to be some cold motherfuckers, man.
Yeah, it's their job to pretty much be that buffer between the white power structure and the blacks when it comes to the masses. So Stephen A. Smith, he goes hard at certain black athletes as opposed to going hard at certain white athletes. in most cases. In some cases, he goes hard at white athletes, but not to the degree in which he goes at black athletes because he knows that it's his job to do so. Just like Malika Andrews, just that she's doing it in a different way.
Listen to what I'm finna tell you, little bro. It's this broad on ESPN named Malika Andrews, and this bitch is a black man hater. Yeah. She don't like black people. And I be so worried about one of my guys. I call him one of my guys. It's a guy that I got love for, Jalen Rose. When he be up there, because he do a TV show with her, the NBA broadcast.
It's kind of like that aspect of just us being treated as toys. Because the black woman hates us, but she loves some dick from us. Just being real, right? So it's just us being used as toys in this society. We just sperm receptacles. For the most part, obviously you got some good women out here, but for the most part, these liberal bugged out women, they only see us as just objects. Like really, they really do. They don't have respect for us as men. They just see us as objects, sexual objects. That's what they see us as. This is why, like, when you see ESPN, you see Tristan Thompson, big goofball ass, dancing on Chiney Agumake and Richard Jefferson and all that. This is what they allow on ESPN. Like, this is what it's come to. Things that we're accustomed to looking at and seeing in a professional way, we don't see that no more. We don't see that no more because they including these women. That's what it is, man. And not just any women, these type of women. Because it's always been women on ESPN and whatnot. But when you have agenda-driven women, liberal women, this is what you have. Now Doris and the older heads, they probably vacillate between being liberal and whatnot and conservative or any. I don't even want to like put a label on it. Just more so, you don't really see any sort of like agenda-driven tendencies from them. Obviously, they're part of that world, but still, it's like Doris, she just does her job. Like Lisa Salters, she just does her job. All these other bitches on ESPN, they fucking bugged out and cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Even Shanae, her eyes is always bugged out, dilated open and shit. Beautiful lady, but just bugged the fuck out. Like, which obviously you brothers can attest to when it comes to the women. They are beautiful souls, beautiful creatures. I don't want to say beautiful souls, but beautiful creatures. But they bugged out. Not all of them, but the majority of these women out here bugged the fuck out. And the reason why I'm putting so much emphasis on that is because of what I be dealing with when it comes to these females, man.
This is what happened with the bitch Malika Andrews. This motherfucker, Jalen Rose, good nigga, got too happy with the heifer and gave her a hug while they was on the broadcast. When he hugged the funky bitch, she said on TV, "Get your hand out of my armpit." Oh my God. And everybody saw his hand wasn't under the armpit.
That's why I say the woman is naturally delusional. That just speaks to her natural state of delusion. Like, for real, bro. I don't care how intelligent these women may come off. They bugged out mentally, man. They are. Especially the liberal ones. They are crazy, man. Like I said about that whole situation with the camp and the white woman, where she was just crying and victimizing herself. Like, the bitch came at us. She came, like starting shit with us, but she want to cry and victimize herself, even in the workplace. I'm going to call HR. Nobody even does anything. Like, it was a situation where woman threatened to call HR on me just because, what was the situation? I'm trying to remember. It wasn't even that big of a deal. It was a situation where I disagreed with one of the other coworkers on something, and we took it up to the manager. The woman being the manager, she got mad at me because I was defending myself. Like, I wasn't even being nasty or vulgar. I was just responding and I was defending myself. And she just took the route of, I'm gonna call HR. Like, what are you talking about? You're gonna call HR? What does this have to do with HR? Like, women, they just bring this element of confusion where it's just like, it's unnecessary. That's because they bugged out mentally. They delusional. So they'll just say anything. Like, they just would, man.
She tried to, but she did this on TV. Oh, man. She tried to get a nigga home. When it's time to go to commercial, hey, Jalen, I feel like you put your hand under my armpit. And no, everybody saw he didn't do that. Yeah. Everybody saw it. This funky bitch always finding a way to shoot the original man down. She meant.
Yes, sir. Because in these last days, it's an attack on manhood. It's an attack on the masculine principle. This is why you have the whole aspect of all these different genders, where it's like now on all these job applications, it's no longer male or female. It's what you were born as and what you identify as, and all this weird shit, binary, and like it's just crazy, man. Like we live in the fucking cartoon. Like we do, bro. We live in the fucking cartoon, man. You got tranny male to female transgenders entering these sports with women, beating the shit out of women, and MMA fighters, and they allowing this shit because they care so much about their agenda. They care so much about their fucking agenda that they're not even willing to embrace any sort of common sense. They care so much about their fucking agenda. This is how you know we in these last days, these perilous times, because morale is gone. Like it's just not here like that. I'm not gonna say it's gone completely, but morale, principles, shit is not here. Everything is just do what you want. Let's push all these socialistic agendas, diversion tactics, so on and so forth. Like it's just crazy, man. This world is a fucking cartoon. That's what it is. But I just wanted to cover this a little bit because it's just something that we need to take note of when it comes to the vibration of these last days. Malika Andrews is just an example of it. You know what I mean? But this shit is pervasive. This is pervasive. But on a mass scale, it's something good to cover because she's an example of it.